Hey, just popping on here, trying to get used to doing this whole live thing while I'm promoting. I do really, really well. Um, that you know, I would say I do pretty well one on one in conventions and shows in a small group. Um, Even sometimes on panels, I do pretty well. But it's this thing talking to the camera. Like I got to get used to that because I'm great bouncing back, from other people and stuff like that. But no sound, no bounce back. So, but anyway, I'm here and we're doing the thing. We're trying to get this stuff going, um, and just welcoming people up and through. Everybody who is on my Instagram, hey, welcome to the live. I'm trying to do an AMA. I've never, ever, ever, ever done an AMA before. But this is a different time. It's a different time. We're trying to do different things right now. So it's pretty amazing. And I have some stuff to talk about with Studio Skye-Tiger Comics, like the new books. So what do we have? Like, we just got these books in. Perfect timing, Sharon. Look, this is your book. This is their cover. So we just got these beautiful, beautiful books in. And they're pretty amazing. It's over 100 pages of content. Stuff that's never been seen. Like, it's all kind of stuff. The story Miss Daisy Beach, I think, is in the beginning. Yes, awesome. But yeah, there's soft cover, back. This is Sherilyn Combo's cover. So super cool, American Beauty. And what else we got? We got the main cover. This is the one I did with Nanita's car that she rebuilt herself, 67 Chevelle. The other cool thing is, Nate Lovett's cover, which is awesome. It's probably my favorite, and I think, this is one of my favorite covers because it's Prince, but she's on a scooter. So this is awesome. And then her sister, Crazy Bernita, is in the back with the Apollonia kind of deal on that one. The other great thing is we are putting ads in our books, and somebody who's going to have a frequent ad in this book and the Midnight Tiger book is Mr. Joseph Woods at the Comic Den. So he's got an ad. He's going to have a permanent ad in all of our books. And then we're open to have other people put ads in it. We actually sent out a message to Mad Cave, actually, to see if they would want one, because why not? I'm friends with the publisher, and I'm all about doing things for friends and with friends, so that's awesome. But yeah, so that book just came, and that's our Kickstarter book, and we're sending those out this weekend. Actually, we're sending all those out this weekend, so that'll be pretty awesome. I mean, it is the book that is launching Studio Skye-Tiger Comics as a publisher. It is the first book. It is not our. It's owned, the title, WTF Mama, that's Shayla Heights' book. She's the creator. But that book is owned by her. Our books, like Midnight Tiger, Evo, will be our first in-house book. And can't wait for that one to come out. We're currently doing the Kickstarter campaign. The link is actually in my profile, so go check that out if you haven't seen it yet. Please, click the link, take a look at the Kickstarter. It's pretty awesome. We're doing some really, really great stuff. If you like urban fantasy, what if you dropped Spider-Man in a city full of Darkstalker-like creatures, and they are basically hidden as humans, and he's got to figure that whole thing out, just getting his powers right now. All right. Yeah, well, you know what? That's a great question. So, yeah, let's start fielding these questions. The question was by Scotty Wine is Scott Wine is was Midnight Tiger on hiatus? I remember getting an issue a couple of years ago, never seen anything for a while, and just started seeing stuff on the character again. So that is a whole story, Scott. So the thing about that is Midnight Tiger has gone through so much. We originally published Midnight Tiger through Kickstarter. Kickstarter is kind of the birthplace of Midnight Tiger, and we did it in 2012. And that was a successful. This was during the Wild Wild West of Kickstarter, where people were just getting in, it was getting exciting and stuff like that, but there was almost no rules and regulations on that. So although we succeeded and we did a pretty great job, I always say we failed up because we didn't incorporate shipping and all that. We had crazy rewards and stuff. We got that stuff out to the best of our abilities, but it was a rough patch. So anyway, during that time, I had people reach out because I had been working for Marvel for a while, and they had saw Midnight Tiger. They thought it was a great character, and they wanted to publish it themselves. And I said, okay, well, doing all this administrative stuff as a creator is like, oh, it's really grueling. I just want to do the book. So, and plus, it's a compliment when a publisher wants to publish your book. It's pretty awesome, that was Action Lab, the very beginning of Action Lab Entertainment. And so they picked up Midnight Tiger. Well, I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of Action Lab Entertainment, but let's just say, the launch seemed to be okay, but, during the course of things, let's say things didn't work out. And, I purposely held it back. I think we got out issue 0 for Free Comic Book Day. We got out issue 1 and issue 2. But like I said, I'm not going to get into the details, but it was held for a while, and eventually I got all my rights back. And as soon as I celebrated that, getting my rights back, another publisher, CEX Publishing, they were also interested in it, but let's just say the deal was something I couldn't pass up. Not only did I retain all my rights, but they were going to help me compile the book into a nice trade paperback and a hardcover, which we did successfully. I think it succeeded. Almost made $12,000 on that campaign, and which was great. Which is it was like 8,000 our goal, and we did really, really great in CEX. And Andy Schmidt, who's now gone on to become the Boom Studios editor-in-chief. Yay for Andy! He's one of the best guys in this business. Had a great deal. It was a great run, and I was able to finish the initial story. So with a 30-page issue 3. So that was great, and we put that out, and I still have copies of that right now. And when that, and as it stands, sadly because of, Andy's transition over to editor-in-chief of Boom, CEX is no longer a thing. So, that publishing deal ended, but it was right on time because I was actually getting ready to start Studio Skye-Tiger Comics. So with that, with Studio Skye-Tiger Comics and my own publishing company, because I had already had a production company years and years ago, and that was pretty good, but the only difference is I didn't get to draw a lot. I was doing a lot of managing and developing other artists, and that's where Nate Lovett and I really got close. He's just a great artist, great friend. He's amazing. We had stuff going. So now, while I was working at Marvel the entire time, and some of DC, people were picking up Midnight Tiger, and they were like, "We love this character. Why don't you bring this character back? We love this character." And so I'm like, "Okay, we'll see." And this is all during the course of the situation with Action Lab. Eventually, like I said, things worked out. I was very patient and I was very kind, and I did what I could do, and it worked out in a good way for me. And so overall, now it's back. We're gonna. It's the Midnight Tiger Evo is essentially a reboot and continuation of the original story. And we're gonna go with that. And you got to get in on the ground floor because not only is it our flagship book for our entire universe, but it's starting off our in-house comic universe. So that's what happened to Midnight Tiger. And so here's the other thing about that. Everybody listening, there will be no more Midnight Tiger #1s. This is it. That's it. It's we're not doing any more reboots. We're not doing. It's just one until I don't want to do it anymore, which might be anywhere between 100 issues or 300 issues, as long as my hands and my eyes work. That'd be great. So that's where we are right there with that. Let's see, next question. Damn, I wish I could stay, but it's Oz Comic Con. Oh, nice. I have a good one. And so thanks, Zoran. It's okay. Y'all, that's awesome. Yes, it did. It did. That is so awesome. Thank you so much, Scott. Katrina, Studio Mom. Hi. So yeah. Oh, and my protege is there. Next Veerling, who is awesome. Very, very proud of that kid. Just, fantastic. I'm proud of everybody in the studio, but that's like my my undocumented kid. So yeah, that, like, the entire thing that we're trying to do with Studio Skye-Tiger Comics is a couple things. Because we're also a production company, and we're getting ready to do something with Archie that I can't really talk much about, but it's going to be fantastic. So that's a production that we're doing. The other thing is, I'm kind of a silent imprint right now. It's a lot going on with me. I'm super busy, but there's something that I'm doing right now with Jamal Anansi, who is a phenomenal writer from Compton. He's got Dark Ones. Please check that out. And Marcus Newsom, who is the creator of Lightning Strike. And we're all from Compton, and we're all doing this thing. And it's a book that we are very close to, called Sincere American Nightmare. And it is three guys, me, Jamal, and Marcus from Compton. We're going to put that book out through Studio Skye-Tiger. And you guys are hearing it here first. We advertise a little bit of it on the Studio Skye-Tiger Comics Instagram. Please follow that if you're out there. But we're thinking about dropping that, I don't know, in November. The book is done. I mean, honestly, the book is done. It's just timing, because I'm already doing Midnight Tiger Evo right now, and we're concentrating on that. We got a new WTF Mama that's popping up, which is the main story. Like, you get a glimpse of kind of a prequel. That's why it's called the prequel. That's why it's called the prequel, where you're starting to get the actual story stuff, here with that book. And so we have one coming up, and we want that one to launch through Shayla's Kickstarter, probably November. So, and Hope Marie Johnson, who is also part of Studio Skye-Tiger, is going to be taking over for me on that. I've done 99% of all of WTF Mama's artwork. So, and that's in addition to all the artwork on Midnight Tiger Evo, except for the claw mark shorts, which are done by TJ Bell, who is the lead, who is Studio Skye-Tiger lead at the company. And, there's Elisa Castillo, a graduate of Savannah College Art Design, and Marquise, a very, very talented artist. So they have 3 backup stories that are in there. So and all of them are just fantastic. So the next question. So as a publishing production company, are you potentially looking for writers, artists, editors, or even interns in the near future? Excellent question. So I mentor, and I have a great class, super talented folks in that class. And at the end of all the lessons, they will have an opportunity to get into the main studio to intern, and it's paid internship. And so, they get called up, and the people who are ready, because it's not just about the talent, it's about the work ethic. Work ethic is everything, because you can get better, but the work ethic, it doesn't matter if you're not in it. So, but yeah, so they're gonna get an offer. Whoever out of the, I think I have how many students. Studio Mom would know, but let's just call it 8 students, and they will get called. They will get called to the big leagues, and they will start out basically as people doing ink assists, on books and stuff like that. The production part of it, we have, like I said, we have a project popping up at Archie. We have a project that is coming up from Half Evil, Rachel Nelson. So I don't know if Rachel wants me to say I'm sorry, but we're that was the news. But we're talking to Rachel about some stuff, and then and that's the only 2 things I believe that we're doing. I mean, aside from the stuff I'm doing with Jamal and Marcus, which is, like I said, that book is already done. It's a great book. It's fun. It definitely represents Compton, which is my hometown, which is, the people, my people's hometown. And I think that's going to be a great book for the city. It's going to be great locally. So we kind of can't wait until that comes out. We'll keep you guys up to date on that kind of stuff as well. Yes, Studio Mom lost count. I mean, the doors are closed, and the thing is that there will be no more mentees. I won't be directly teaching anyone else. So this is the last crop, at least for the foreseeable future. There is talks about me releasing the videos for my storytelling class, and you'll be able to pay for them. And that's also something that's in the works. Also, when it comes to hiring writers and other artists and stuff like that, I've already hired some of the best in the business right now. Danny Lore, who is doing the co-writing on Arise to Ruin, which is my version of an updated Buck Rogers, which is a mixture of Thundar the Barbarian and Evangelion. If you know anything about any of those, you're in for a crazy fun ride. And Erica Schultz, and both of these folks, longtime friends, amazing creators. Erica Schultz has already turned in issue 1 of the Icons, which actually appear in Midnight Tiger Origins. And so Elisa Del Castillo is going to be doing the art on Icons, and TJ Bell is going to be doing the art on Arise to Ruin. So we're already, and plus, Chris Robinson, Eisner Award-winning editor Chris Robinson, is going to be writing or co-writing Cornerman with me, and Marquise is slated to do the art for that one. So, we have books. We have books like in the hopper in production. There's different, there's a bunch of different varying levels of production on all of those titles. Like I said, we're constantly working on things. We're getting things going on, so be on the lookout. Like, we're really trying to hit this hard. But here's the other thing. The other thing is, we don't want to make the mistakes that a lot of new publishers make. They have, 4 or 5 successful books, and then they start making money, and then they go from 4 or 5 books to 10 to 15 books. We are not going to have any more than 6 books out. Period. So that it's easier for us to maintain. It's easier for us to keep the quality high and not overstep. But first, it's baby steps. I mean, this is literally the beginning of our second year. Our first year, we worked with DC Comics on Shadow Cabinet, on Power Company, that reboot. And shout out to DC Comics. And super editor Marquise Draper, who I love. They are the first to effectively validate Studio Skye-Tiger by dropping that name in there, and it's like Ray Anthony Height and Studio Skye-Tiger. Look it up. It is huge. It is unprecedented, and that they helped put us on the map. We also did we did a lot of the pre-production work on the Defiant book from Legion M. That's doing gangbusters with Legion M's book and writer Princess of the Frog Rob Edwards. Nicholas Draper Ivey did the cover. I did the Shaft variant cover. But Studio Skye-Tiger actually did a lot of the pre-production work on that. So I don't think we're named in the book. I'm named in the book, but the studio itself, even though the work we did is not named in the book. But we did it. So, we've been doing all kind of stuff. And our official work that it actually came out as a production company was Alice in Danger's Post-War. So definitely look that up. That book just came out. It's pretty sweet. It's an anthology. And so that's our actual first published work as a studio. And I believe we're mentioned in that. I'm definitely mentioned in it, but we definitely are a part of that. So we've been actually working secretly for about almost 2 years now. Seriously, like we've been producing work. We've been perfecting the craft and really getting it out there, and that's why I knew it was time to go 100% publishing company, because we were doing it for other people. Pencils, inks, letters, sometimes colors, but we did the whole thing. And now, like, since Midnight Tiger is a big thing, and I'm always coming up with ideas, I just don't have enough hands, and I've always been a big fan of. So the other thing is that Studio Skye-Tiger, as a fan of anime and manga and animation and all that, our books look like animation, because that's where my head's at. That's how I see it in my head, and those are the type of books I want to produce. I want anybody and everybody who picks up any title from Studio Skye-Tiger Comics to feel like they're looking at an animated series, just in paper form, in comic book form, because it's my two loves merged into one. And so that's the other part. That's what we want to bring to the table in that. Because with that kind of look, I think there was a company called Dreamwave that did it. I know Udon does that kind of stuff. And I love what they're doing. I mean, even though that I think Dreamwave, they had issues, but other than that, their products was great. Like Warlands was really good, awesome. I love that. But Udon, they're all about the Capcom license, and they're doing great with that kind of stuff. But that's what they do, and I don't think very many other companies are doing that right now. Hey, Justin! So I've known Justin ever since Justin was a kid too. So that's the other thing. Like that look is just beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. My background is in mostly comics, but also animation, and I study all kinds of stuff. Animation wise, it's just a beautiful fluidity. That's what we're trying to bring to the table. That's what the kind of stuff that we want to give you guys an experience. We also want you to have a lot of fun, and it's nothing more fun than seeing a cool animation. Anywhere from Adventure Time to old Thundercats, or even further back, like I said, Thundar the Barbarian, or as I would say iconic as Akira or Ghost in the Shell. Like all of those things, we want to bring that kind of coolness and stuff like that. I mean, it's definitely something fun that we love to do. And it's not that our books won't tackle some heavy things. Like there's some heavy things in it, but it's, like I said, it's mostly like fun. And I think that's the thing we're missing a lot of in comics right now. A lot of people are doing comics to do like film or whatever, animation, like TV shows. Like that's its initial reason why they're doing the comic. We're doing comics because we just love comics. Anything that comes from those comics, that's extra. That's icing on the cake. That's a plus. But I know I don't have time to do an animation, but what I do know and I'm an expert at is making comics. So I'm merging those two things together with this company. Any other questions out there? There was 6 people watching at one point. I think there's 6 again. Anybody else got any questions about the company, about Midnight Tiger Evo right now? I love that kind of stuff. Since the campaign's going on, please do not forget to go and back that campaign, or at least spread the word. We still have a tier, the early bird tier, which I kept, which is 100 people that it's available for 100 people. I think over 50 have gotten that tier, and I did it so high because I want readers. I want people to really kind of fall in love with these characters just like we are. We know these characters. They're great. One of the best things I've heard is that Midnight Tiger is and Gavin is some of people's favorite indie, black comic book characters. And I just want to hear he's one of my favorite characters, not with all the extra, but I love the extra too. There's when we sell Midnight Tiger Origins, the hardcover and the trade paperback at conventions. People are coming back and they're like, I love this. I see exactly what you're going for here, and he's so much fun. And there was a group, a crowd of young guys who came back to Rose City after seeing me last year. They came back this year, and I gave them this whole thing about what they're going to see, what's going to happen, because they were like, where's the next one? What's happening with this? Because it did leave on a cliffhanger. Origins left on a cliffhanger as designed, because I knew that I'm going to go into this huge story. And they had all kinds of questions. They were so invested in the characters. And when I gave them, which I'm not going to give you guys, but I gave them some ideas of what's going to happen, and they're like, oh my God, they just can't wait. And that's why we're doing these books. We're doing the books for the people who want to read about these characters. And that's really it. When you think of somebody like, Goku, you know what that character is about. You know what Wolverine's about. You know what he's going to do. The best thing a creator can have is when people know their creations so well, and they have expectations of these characters, and they love these characters, and they're cosplaying, and they're wearing merch, and they're super invested, and they're talking to their friends about, who's stronger, or they're imitating their catchphrases or something. That is the magic that I'd love to capture with these characters. Let's see. Katrina said, oh, did you say where to find you at LACC? Look at you with the great questions. I believe it is Q54. An easy way to say it, we are the last table in Artist Alley, you guys. We are the last table, literally. So from A to B to whatever the final letter is, we are the last letter and the last and the last number. We are on the corner at the very end, so it will be easy to find us. But I believe, like I said, I believe it's Q54 or something like that. So yeah, definitely check us out and come visit us. Our LACC appearance will be mostly about WTF Mama, because we got those books in. I'm currently, I will have some copies of Midnight Tiger there, but we're definitely pumping up that book, and we're there as Studio Skye-Tiger Comics. Even though it bills me as Ray Anthony Height, actually it's Ray Anthony Height, it's Shayla Height, it's Studio Skye-Tiger Comics, and we're going to have Sherilyn come by to sign her cover. So that's a thing. I think that's going to be great. So yeah, just come find us. I don't know what day that's going to be on. I'll probably do a couple more lives to let you guys know, keep you informed on all that. And my protege will be signing a cover at Jamal and Nazi's table. Katrina, can you say what table number that is? And then I'll repeat it out for the folks that's listening. Hey, look, this is the most folks I've had on live. Thank you guys for showing up. I got 8 folks. It's awesome. So yeah. Send me some more questions. I love answering the questions. Anything about the company, production, the characters, what to expect in Midnight Tiger Evo #1 and going to the future. Because again, we're launching a universe and we're launching a publishing company here. So we definitely want to hit our goal. That is for sure. We believe in our product, but it would be really awesome if we went beyond, like plus ultra. Let's go beyond here. So Jamal, thank you. So Jamal will be at H30, and first of all, just buy the books because they're awesome. But please, say hello to my people. They're family, as far as I'm concerned. My protege will be there. One of my best guys. My Compton fam, Jamal Anansi, will represent there. And maybe he'll tell you some stuff about Sincere American Nightmare. Maybe if you've been to Zir a little bit. So I got the question: what is your personal favorite character, and why is it? Well, if I had to choose another character besides my own, it would be Spider-Man, and there's some Spider-Man in Gavin's DNA. So I have the book here. This is the hardcover, which I still have a few of. I usually bring the trade paperback out, but yeah. Hey, Michael, how you doing? Thank you, sir. Thank you. So yeah, like here's some stuff here. Like I remember when I first did it, when I first brought this book out, the page that really got people like, I need to see what's up with this character. Let's see. I'll show you right now. And you see how I kind of poke fun a little bit with the Marvel. So at that time, I definitely was working for Marvel there. And just, having it being a bit of fun. But this page actually got a lot of traction. This page seems to be all over the internet, and it's this shot right here with the after image that is kind of like, really got people going. But yeah, like, so with Origins, we got all kinds of stuff going on in this one, and that's going to be available. And this is a great image I'm going to show you guys, which kind of encapsulates his entire origin. So, okay. So, yeah. So, what was that question? Let me go back. Yeah, Jamal, yes, the flipping page. People love that page. Okay. Any advice for someone wanting to get their foot in the door somewhere in the industry? As an editing intern or anything like that. I would say as an editor, I would get creatives. I would get other creatives. Let me put that in the way somewhere where I can get to it quickly. I would say find somebody, find a team of people who want to put a book together, has never put a book together. As an editor, you're going to find all types of creatives that want to do things and haven't figured out how to do them. And what an editor does is make those things possible for the creative people. So if you end up, finding a couple of like-minded people who need to have a book put together, and an anthology is great to start. Anthologies are great for anybody breaking in. That means from editors to inkers to letterers to whomever. Because there's always people that they don't know how to actually produce the comic, but they know how to make the comic pages and they know to do that. So I would say try to find people that are really trying to break in and say, hey, I'm putting together an anthology. Would you like to join it? So that I think that would be great if you're trying to get in as an editor. Any other questions? Yeah, because that was, so far you guys have been asking some fantastic questions. Let's keep them going. I figure, I started this thing at 3:30. I can go another 30 minutes for sure. And so that's the other thing. So this is a shirt that isn't quite available yet, but, I just made one for myself. I don't know when I'm going to have that shirt available, but, my son, who is actually who inspired Gavin, he's like, no, that shirt. It was two shirts. He's like, the big head. The big head is the shirt I dig. So I may have that one. Oh, don't tell Connie anything, Katrina. Give her a hug for me, please. So other things that I'm thinking about as far as the company is concerned and things I want to talk to you guys about is with Midnight Tiger Evo, the original plan was to do this first arc is supposed to be 6 issues. So the plan really is we're launching this first issue today. If we hit our goal and exceed that goal, it'll not only pay for this issue, but it'll lay the groundwork for paying for colorists for the next issue, paying my crew, the studio Skye-Tiger members for their line art, for their expertise, because I do all the lettering. And thank you guys for those people who are noticing my lettering. I have loved lettering since the beginning. And I do not feel a comic is a comic without lettering. And so a lot of that, the techniques and all that stuff and the things I like and my personal taste basically got absorbed into my brain. And I decided to take a shot because, I'm already shelling out as a publisher a lot of money. But I have the benefit of also being an artist and somebody who is completely enthralled with every aspect of creating comics. So I decided to, and I dabbled in lettering before, but I was never truly serious until I started lettering WTF Mama. And then, of course, with anything that you do repeatedly, you get better and figuring out different styles and stuff like that. So when people started noticing the lettering on Midnight Tiger Evo, if you go to the Kickstarter, you can see some of the lettering there, and some of the lettering that's in the new Miss Daisy Beach story for WTF Mama. Like, I really was finding my groove with the lettering, and so people were like, hey, who did the lettering? And I was like, I did. And they're like, oh man, this is good. And I could hear the surprise, like the penciler, inker, writer can letter. Like, this is like a professional letterer. I was like, well, I do love comics. I absolutely love comics, and lettering is part of the whole page. It is absolutely part of the whole page. So if you don't have that going, if you don't have good lettering can elevate your book, and terrible lettering could totally destroy your book. So it was no way that I was going to have bad lettering. And Tom Orzechowski is one of my favorite letterers of all time. All the stuff that he did on Excalibur, another one of my favorite books of all time, I think that lives rent free in my head. So that's a lot of my base when it comes to lettering. You'll see Richard Starkings and that crew, and Ann World, and it's just a bunch of different letterers that live in my head. And so I try to figure out, well, what would they do, right? And what works and what looks organic and all that kind of stuff. So I'm very proud of the lettering. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love what we're doing with the art but the art is what I know. It's what I'm used to, right? But the lettering is something I'm quite proud of. As far as production goes, so we have 6 issues planned, and if we hit, let's say, $10,000 on this campaign before it ends or more, because we're already going, every $2,000 is another issue. Because for the most part, really technically every $3,000, because as a publisher and the creator, I get paid last. So, okay, so let's see. I have, do you prefer writing or drawing? Great question, Scott. That really is a great question, because I actually had to pause. A few years ago, I would have said drawing, but then again, when I was 19, I did my first comic, and I wrote and drew that comic. So I guess technically I've been writing and drawing comics since the very beginning, but the general public who know me from my Marvel work and my DC work only know me as an artist. But occasionally I'll do an anthology where I write and draw it, and they're small. just to keep those skills tight. But I think right now, if I were to answer, so I'm going to answer you what I feel like right now. I think I like writing more right now. Right now, I like writing more. Because I think I can draw well enough that I can execute my ideas that depict what I have in my mind. I think that's really it. Indestructiblism. I like that name. Do you do both art and lettering using digital platform? I saw a post where you said that you use Clip Studio Paint. Yes, I do. And I love Clip Studio Paint. Clip Studio Paint is everything. It's everything. But so my process is I do everything traditional. Well, not everything. I lay out everything traditional first. On occasion, I will lay some things out digitally if I'm really like in my zone, if I'm in my groove. But I do everything on paper. I figure out where the lettering placement is. I figure out where my composition is. I even block in my the tones or light source or whatever all on paper first. And then I move it, I scan it in at 600 DPI, and then I just start going through the process that way. Indestructible Sam. I said it all like one whole word because that's what I saw it. All right. I love that. Indestructible Sam. But yeah, so yeah, I think that's my process. And my other process, and there's one of my friends, Jibba, who just found out. Well, he didn't just find out, but I actually do all of my stuff on 8.5 by 11 paper, like copy paper. And he gets like, what the hell? Like, you actually draw that small? If you've ever seen my stuff up close in real life, yes. I did start on 11 by 17, and I can do 11 by 17. But you just don't see everything. You end up looking around the page to seeing, what's all there. And it was animation director and a friend of mine, LaShawn Thomas, who did a lot of his comic work on 8.5 by 11. And it's like, it doesn't matter, unless you're trying to sell it. And he wasn't. It's like, it doesn't matter because once you scan it in, it's what it is. And I've been doing it ever since. And that was, God, years ago. So that's the size I do all of that stuff at. I had recently done. Oh, all right, Justin. I'll see you next week. Stop by. So yeah, I did a vertical comic for Marvel, and I did some of that on 11 by 17. But I mostly, when I scanned it in and all that kind of stuff, I did it digitally. So Clip Studio is my go-to for sure. Yeah. So any other questions out there? Like, the great thing is I see people coming in, coming out, and they're staying as long as they can, which is awesome. I think I'm probably going to be here, another 15, 20 minutes. So any other really, really cool questions, you guys can ask. And I'm going to keep doing these lives. I'm getting a little better. I can feel myself getting a little more comfortable with doing these things. And I'll definitely be doing them as long as the campaign's going on. So, and like, I don't know if you guys can see, I'm going to see if I can. So if you go up this way, I have a library of books all over. And it's like, I'm studying all the things. Oh, there's a Midnight Tiger himself, Anthony Height, who just dropped in. What's up, buddy? Yeah, you follow my son, Eyes on Height. He's a little basketball prodigy. And he's a great kid. Definitely an inspiration for the character. But yeah, man, like, with this company, there's things that I want to do. By the end of it, I would say in the first 5 years, I'd love to establish at least 10 to 15 issues of Midnight Tiger Evo. Probably the same amount, maybe 10 issues of WTF Mama, because WTF Mama is actually through. Two New Heights is the company that owns it, and that's my wife's company. So technically, Two New Heights is an imprint of Studio Skye-Tiger Comics, and Jamal Anansi Comics is now an imprint of that, but we haven't done anything other than the thing we're doing with American Nightmare, Sincere American Nightmare. And Midnight Tiger's in that, by the way, if I didn't say that before. Midnight Tiger, Lightning Strike, and Jamal's new character, Sincere, is in it. Great, I would say Sincere is an anti-hero for sure. Or anti-villain. I don't know, whichever you want to think about it, but it's a great story. But yeah, so technically we have some quiet imprints. We actually, are planning an anthology called Studio Skye-Tiger Universe, and we have some people who I've been talking to who are definitely on the list of being writers on some of those short stories that's coming in that one, which is, the great Stephanie Williams is probably going to jump on that one. David F. Walker is probably going to do something with that. But yeah, so we got a couple of people that are doing that one, and that one I had to push because of the Archie thing we're going to do. I had to push that to next year instead of the end of this year. So the end of next year, so end of 2026, I think that one's going to pop up. So we're definitely looking for that. Let's see. Any more questions out there popping through? This is an AMA. It's my very first AMA, and we already got a lot of great questions so far. And the next one will probably be... oh, wait, we got one. Okay. Billy the Comet. Fantastic. Okay. How many pages do illustrators ask for? And they're artists. It's not fast enough for a comic book artist job. So if you're going to be doing just pencils, then a page a day. A page a day of pencils is the standard. If you can't do a page a day, it's going to be very, very tough for you to meet your deadlines. And even people who can do a page a day or two, it depends. Life is going to life, right? So, you have to plan for that in budgeting your time with your pages. But try to build up to a page of pencils a day. If you can do a page of pencils and inks a day, that's even better. There are some people who are really, really fast. Like John Romita Jr. is really fast. At one point he was doing 2 books a month. And other people just, they aren't that fast. And they have very detailed, intensive work. So sometimes their pages might be 2 days to do just for pencils. So you don't know, but work towards a standard first. And then the other part of it is getting used to producing sequential pages. It's not just being able to produce, I did this one page in this one day, this one time. Try to do a story, because really it's the collection of the pages that make the story. You can do a 1-page story. Comic strip artists do it all the time. And they're doing it every day for a week. So they have to turn in 5 strips a week or more, So I want you to think about that. If you have a style that is, let's call it labor intensive, is very detailed oriented, you have a choice. You can do one or two things. You can forget about the deadline part, and I would say try to make that a page every 2 days, and just be consistent. Or you can develop a style which is a shorthand of the style that you have and take out some details, which will shorten your time. But the other part to get faster is to lay out everything first. Then do all the thought work first. And then that way you can lay down everything on top, because the rendering and all that fancy stuff, that's the icing on the cake. The actual work is what's in the layout. So yeah, page a day. Let's see. So with Hardline Comics, Ripaverse, Concrete Comics, and many other smaller companies popping up, would you ever collab with someone else similar to DC and Marvel? And if so, who and what characters? So, okay. So that's a great question, too. I know a lot of these folks. And Midnight Tiger has crossed over with Advent comics already. And in Midnight Tiger Evo, just so you guys are aware, there's crossovers with Arthur Adams, the great and legendary Arthur Adams, Monkey Man and O'Brien, Carl Kiesel's Impossible Jones, Greg Anderson Elize's It's None the Spider. Like, it's a bunch. Dean Haspel's Red Hook. There's crossovers in that book, and there's cameos in the book. And I'm not going to say exactly what those cameos are, but there's cameos in the book. So it definitely alludes to, like, Midnight Tiger is one of those characters that he exists in almost every universe. So I'll just go there. He exists in almost every universe. So it is possible that he or a version of him can pop up in anybody's universe. As long as me and the creators and the publishers come to an agreement and we figure all that stuff out, it's definitely open. But the prime Midnight Tiger, the one that matters, the one that everything comes from, is this one, the Studio Skye-Tiger Comics one. So, it's one of those things where you need to talk to the creators. But I love to see that. I love to have those type of crossovers, because I essentially have separated the Midnight Tiger of Action Lab versus my Midnight Tiger. I essentially separated that. Let's say that's another version of Gavin. But in this Prime universe, somebody like Stray is, his character is actually a comic book character created by Vito Del Sante and Sean Isaacs, and those creators exist inside the Midnight Tiger Evo universe. As a matter of fact, Vito Del Sante is Gavin Shaw's neighbor, and so he's a big fan. So that's how we work that out. But that doesn't invalidate everything that happened in the Action Lab universe, where Stray and Molly Danger and all of those characters live, because Molly Danger also makes a cameo in Midnight Tiger Evo, because Jamal Igle is a damn good friend of mine. Vito Del Sante, again, these are some of my best friends in this industry. So I would be hard pressed not to include all that, or at least do a nod to what we've done in the past. So that was a great question. What, you got some more questions? Come on, let's go. We're doing great. You guys are asking some really great questions. And again, like I said, I'm going to be doing these fairly often. I think my goal is probably twice a week, especially during the campaign, the Midnight Tiger Evo campaign, which if you haven't gone and checked it out, please go check it out. But yeah, absolutely. Check it out. See, you like it. Well, again, we're looking for readers. We're looking for, right now, I think we have about 125 backers. By the end of this, how awesome would it be to have 300 or more backers? When I did the first Midnight Tiger in 2012, I think we reached 230 some odd backers, which was fantastic, especially during that time. But here's the great thing, is that I'm trying to build an audience on Kickstarter. Every book that we're going to be doing is going to be on Kickstarter, except for the book. I'm actually talking to Paper Cuts right now about a book. So that Studio Skye-Tiger Comics as a production company also is going to work with other companies. Like I said, we're going to be doing something with Archie, and I'm working on something right now with Paper Cuts, which is an imprint of Mad Cave. So, but we'll see how these things pan out. But I don't plan on, because I have my own publishing company now. I would say right now I'm essentially limiting my work to 3 companies. That's DC Comics, Archie Comics, and Mad Cave / Paper Cuts. That's it. That's what I'm limiting myself to. These are companies that have not only approached me, but have treated me so well. You know, and really treated me well, treated my new company well, my production company well. And I know a lot of awesome people at those companies, you know, so, and they recognize what I'm trying to do. There's a lot of mutual respect there. So I get it. I get it. I don't know. Marvel hasn't approached me. I mean, with the right things or whatever, sure, you know, maybe I'll do something with Marvel, but they haven't approached me or approached Studio Skye-Tiger Comics, you know, as a whole. Let's see. I saw something. Okay. Yeah, that's true, Billy. Everything does depend on the illustrator. So, but if you start getting to know me, and at the end of the day, I don't really give vague answers. I give very specific answers, because when I was coming up as a creator and the vague answers didn't really help me, so I went out and kind of like figured out this stuff myself. So this is what I teach my classes. Like, everything I've ever learned over the past 20 plus years in this business, I want to impart to them, because if I can have them prevent landmines and working in this industry, I will. You know, I think the industry itself as a whole could be great, and there are great people within it. But there are also a lot of, you know, nasty people in this who are self-serving and really are, you know, sycophants of the almighty dollar. And that's not necessarily what I'm interested in. Like, do I want to make money as a comic book creator and as a comic book publisher? Absolutely. Is that my priority? No. My priority is making great comics. My priority is entertaining kids like I used to be, you know, that were looking for, you know, something fun to escape into. And that's what this is about. That's why I'm trying to do all these things. That's exactly it. So, you know, at the end of the day, God, I say that phrase too much. But what I really want is to produce great comic book creators. I don't want to just produce comic book illustrators. A comic book illustrator, it might be controversial to say this, but a comic book illustrator could be used as a tool. But a comic book creator has agency, right? A comic book creator is somebody who can make decisions. And any artists out there, any writers out there, whoever, be a comic book creator. Don't be, I'm just a writer, or I'm just an artist, or I'm just you know, they can be taken advantage of. You know, let's not do that, because when you think of yourself as a creator, that's power. That means I can make decisions. That means that I can make a better story, right? If you're collaborating with, you know, writer collaborating with an artist and vice versa, you know, writer collaborating with an artist, artist collaborating with the writer, you're doing something together. You're building something together. If you don't have the capacity, or you're not being allowed to make any decisions on the script or the story or the visuals or whatever, you are a tool. And if you're okay with that, that's great. If you're walking into that notion that I just want to draw and I'm going to draw whatever this person tells me to do, I think that's fine too. But as long as you are aware of the decision you're making, because there's a lot of great artists, and that's what they want to do. They just want to draw, you know, and I think that's great. And hopefully they are lucky enough to find collaborators who will not take advantage of that. But that's not necessarily baked into the cake of this industry, especially when you're dealing with larger corporations. It's an assembly line, and never forget that. The only time you become more and you have more agency is if you are a commodity that makes them money. If you become a commodity that makes them money, then you have a little bit more power. You have a little bit more leeway. But you will never, ever, ever be in control. Just know that. Because at any point in time, no matter how much money you bring them, they have all the power, and they can say, well, we own this character. You know, we own Spider-Man and we own this and we own that. So we don't want this character to do this, even though it could be a great idea, you know, or whatever. And, you know, we don't want your idea. So even though you've made us millions of dollars. So they can pull the rug out from under you at any point, at any time. But so don't, I would say, if you choose the route of working corporate, know that. You might be lucky and end up working with editors and a company, and they love you and they love what you do, and they give you a lot more, you know, leeway and power than the average bear. That's great, but that is far between, and the 1% of the 1%. You know, if you want more creative freedom, if you want to express yourself, unless they hire you to express yourself like some animation companies do. I would say animation in that way, if you want to express yourself more, animation is a great way to do that, because as a designer, because sometimes they're like, we don't want you to design characters like this great designer. We like what you're doing, and that's why we're hiring you. We're hiring you because you have something different. That's the other thing I'm teaching my students, is that I'm not here to teach you how to draw like me. I'm teaching you how to be a better version of you, and really embrace the things that make you unique, because that uniqueness will set you apart. Not everybody's like that. Most companies are not like that. They want you to produce. They want you to, you know, keep going and doing the thing until, you know, you burn out. The people might care, but the company doesn't care that you're sick. The company doesn't care that you haven't slept in 3 days. The company doesn't care as a whole. They care about their products coming out on time. That's what they care about. They don't care about if your grandma's sick. Your editor might care, but they have a boss, and their boss has a boss. So the further up you go, the less empathy there is. You know, depending on how that goes as well. Anyway, I'm sorry. I went this whole rant about the industry, but that's what this is. That's if you're going to do it. I'm a big proponent of doing something for them and doing something for you, just to keep your sanity. Let's see. Okay, so Billy, yeah, that's right. If you got your own stories, and that's what it is, that's the thing that's going to make you great. Mike Mignola was a great artist working at a company that, let's put it this way, he wasn't getting what he needed to be what he became when he started working on Hellboy. People saw some of the greatness. Most people, though, was like, I don't know about this. Like, I don't know about this guy Mignola. Like, you know. So during the time that he was working for those other companies, it was like, and the companies almost make you feel bad about you being you. You know. And so Mike didn't want to draw cars, and he didn't want, you know, he wanted to do his thing. He wanted stuff to be gothic and dark and all that. And it wasn't until, you know, the Batman stuff, what was it? Gotham by Gaslight, I believe. And that was like, wow, you know, because he was able to do him. He was able to do his thing. The same thing he was doing on Hellboy. You know, so that's why he is and became what he became. He wasn't going to be the Mike Mignola he is now working on X-Force. And a lot of people didn't appreciate his X-Force, by the way. I loved it. I thought it was great. But I'm an artist, and I'm also an art nerd. So it's also one of those things where I see different things in the artist, because there's artists who understand how to make money and what people, the general public, want. There's artists that do art for art's sake because they're artists. They're, you know, high level. Some of them are quite highbrow artists, and they're all about technique and all this other kind of stuff. And I think that's awesome. Some artists are very organic and visceral, and they put their passion on that page. I love those artists too. And some artists are you know, I think Ed Piskor had a phrase for them called jobbers. Some artists are jobbers. it's just a paycheck. Like they go in and they do, they just do the job, and they're competent at doing the job. Not a lot of passion, but they execute well. So, it's all of those different things. But, when you have that creative streak to just do all the things that you want to do, because, I think every artist has it, some more than others. When you're able to do your own stuff, when you're able to just be free and let your id fly and all the great things that you're inspired by, like, Barry Windsor Smith, like the stuff that they were doing on their own is so brilliant. Alex Toth is just an artist, and I think he didn't get a lot of love when he was in his prime doing things. I think people thought he was competent. His editors loved him. He was fast. He was, he did a great job. But it wasn't until later on where people were like, "Oh man, like this is like fantastic storytelling." And so we get people like Chris Somney, who is brilliant, from that kind of stuff. Oh, thank you so much. Fingers crossed that we blow past our goal, but I think we're off to a pretty solid start. I think we're at 40% on the Kickstarter. Like I would love to have more interviews lined up. I think I'm trying to get a couple of interviews lined up so I can get the word out to more people and a wider audience and stuff like that, because I'm looking for readers. It's not just making the goal, it's getting as many readers as possible. Like right now we have, over 120 backers. I would love to see the final count after, sometime in October when the campaign ends at over 300 backers, because that means that there are 300 people who are aware of this character and will be back if they like it for issue 2, issue 3, and issue 300. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people who are with me on this journey for the company, for the universe of studios, the Studio Skye-Tiger universe, for all the stuff. And they're there. They will be there from the first issue to the last, right? They will be there at conventions and walking up to our table, and they're cosplaying, I'm looking forward to those kind of things. But yeah, I mean, that's what we're in there for, just to make these memorable characters and to have fun. If there are characters that you see in our books that are relatable, let us know. Let us know. That's what we're here for, because every one of these characters that are in this book is probably based off of somebody that we know. No one, and that's really the other thing. There's no character, and for me, I'll speak for myself. There is no character that I've ever created that isn't either loosely or strongly based off of somebody or a multitude of people. I don't think I've ever created a character that's just come to me out of complete thin air. Because I think when they are inspired by actual people, either people I know or people that I see or heard of, or maybe, a celebrity, I don't know, but wherever that comes from, they have a soul. Now those characters have a soul, and they live not just on the page. When you're reading a Studio Skye-Tiger Comics book, like, you're in that world. You can feel the things, like, and if you're in Apollo Bay, you can almost smell the magical atmosphere in the air. So that's what I'm looking for with this stuff. But yeah, like we have big plans, and we got to start somewhere. And this is just, you're getting in on the ground floor. You're getting in, like, you can say, oh yeah, I got the first book when it was on Kickstarter, Yes, that is exactly why Peter is so popular, because people know what it's like. Like, he's got these powers and all this. Some of that stuff just doesn't matter. If you don't have money to catch a bus or to take someone out on a date or any of those different things, it doesn't really matter if you can lift a bus. It doesn't matter. And that's the type of energy that we have. That's why in the preview pages, it's not this big boffo thing, although Marquise's cool visuals for the short, for the claw mark short SKO, that looks really cool. And that's some action in there. And there will be big action, because there's a page following, there's a big Monkey Man and O'Brien splash that comes after the pages that you see on the Kickstarter. And I briefly thought, I don't want to show that yet, because they're all in it. I mean, it's all, you can see them in the background in the movies. Because in Gavin's universe, Monkey Man and O'Brien are the invincible of that universe. So there's an animation, there's a film, there's toys, right? It is completely different than our universe. Their Monkey Man O'Brien is like freaking huge. So the fact that they actually exist will knock Gavin for a loop. And so yeah, so that'll be very, very fun. He's going to learn a lot about who he is from these people he's been a fan of ever since he was a kid, like a little boy. So, but yeah, it's the thing that makes characters great also is the supporting cast, right? I want you guys to think about that. Think about the characters that you love so much. You can name 3, 4, 5 of the supporting cast members because that's the thing. It's just like people. If you want to find out who somebody is, look at their friends. So if you want to find out who Gavin Shaw is, look at his friends. Look at his relationship with his dad. How he handles different things, the things he cares about. So it's those kind of things that matter. As a whole. So yeah, we've been doing it, man. This is going pretty good. This has been an hour and about 10 minutes. I think I'm going to wrap it up now. And what's today? Friday. So I may have do another one Monday or Tuesday. Excuse me. I love the questions. Everybody asks great questions. Thank you for popping in. And I'll put up that same marker. I want to have them about the same time. So like 3:30 Pacific Standard Time PM, right? And so when you see that go up, when you see the thing that's on my Instagram go up, get ready because we're going to do one that day. And so that'll be a frequent thing that I'm going to do. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Like, I live story. I think one of the questions was, awesome. Thank you so much. I really wish that, like, somebody asked me, do I like writing better or drawing better? And right now, like I said, I love writing better because I actually get to do it. I would have loved to have written something I was trying to get something going at DC. If anybody knows the character Amazing Man, I was trying to write and draw a miniseries for that. And it didn't happen, but I think it would have been fantastic because I love that character. It is the first black superhero of the DC universe, and I think I had something to say about that. But yeah, I mean, I get to do the thing I love. So, all right, you guys, I'm out. Thank you for everybody that showed up. I will post it. I'll see if I can post this long thing on Instagram. We'll see. Maybe I'll try to download it and post it on not on Instagram, on YouTube. So let's do that. But have a good one. Thanks for showing up and I'll show this one more time because I may have that available. But that's it. All right, guys. See you on the Kickstarter.